Hi everyone, my name's Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today I'm going to continue with my demonstration with the gift bag punch board, a new item available June 2nd from Stampin Up in the new catalog. And this is the bag we're going to create today. It's about 8 3/4 inches tall. And it's made with a 12 by 12 piece of paper. I'm using the 2014-16 in colors here. This is called Blackberry Bliss. There's a few retiring products on here, the paper and the ribbon specifically. And let's go ahead and get started and I'll teach you how to create this. So of course the first thing you're going to need is some paper, and any type of paper will do. You could use cardstock or designer series paper. I'm using some in color Blackberry Bliss designer series paper. This has been discontinued and I'm not actually even sure if it's still available, but there will be something similar, I'm sure, coming up. So the first thing that we're going to do is we have our punch board right here, and I would normally face this towards me, so normally I would face it this way when I work with it, but I want you to be able to feel like you're the one working with it, so I'm going to face it towards you. There are directions on the gift bag punch board and you can just follow those along. Just know that the small relates to a 10-inch width paper, a medium relates to an 11-inch width paper, and a large relates to a 12-inch width. Now you can have it any height that you want, but you want to make sure you're working with the correct widths. So we are going to be working with a 12-inch width, and so I'm just going to scoot this under so that it is flush. I'll show you. I have to bend the paper up a little bit. It's in the way of my tripod here. But you want it flush to the top of the punch board. So you have to kind of put it in all the way up to this area here. Then you're going to set it up so that you are flush with the start line. So this edge is going to be flush with your start line, and you are going to give your paper a little punch. At this point, well, I probably should have grabbed it first, but I'm going to scoot out the tool here. This is a score tool that comes with your gift bag punch board. And what we want to do now is we want to score on the large side, or the large piece, the large bag size, because we are using a 12-inch width. So I'm just going to bring that down all the way to the edge, or as far as I can. Now I cannot go off the paper, so I'm just bringing it as far down as I can. And this is going to be a front or a back. And so the next thing we're going to do on our bag is the side. Oops, and you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do my horizontal score. So be sure you do your horizontal score as well. So to review, you're going to line up this edge with your start line. You're going to make sure that it's flush to the back of your gift bag punch board. You're going to do your horizontal score line, and since you're using a 12-inch width paper, you're going to use the large gift bag size. So you're going to make your score line on the L. Then you're going to bring this all the way over so that now you won't be able to see the start line from the bottom. So we're going to use this marker right here, which will show us where our start line is. And we're going to line up that score line that we made with this marker edge right here. And so the next step is to go ahead and make our punch. And this is going to be a side part of the bag, so there's going to be a gusset, and since we're working on the side, we're going to score where the side mark is, right here. Just go as far down as we can. And then we are going to score on the gusset. And again, just go as far as you can. It doesn't have to be all the way to the bottom. And then, of course, score the triangular piece. Then we're going to move this all the way. I know you won't be able to see these score lines, but just trust me, I'm moving the score line that we did for the side of our bag to this marker right here. And then we are going to make another punch. And we are going to do the front or back of our bag. So we're going to make the horizontal line And we are going to score on this large section here, the L section. All right, so now we're going to bring the marker all the way up to where our last score line was, which is right here. Make another punch. And then this is going to be a side, so we need to do our score line through the gusset. And we need to do our horizontal score line. And we need to do our side line, our side score line here, because this little edge will be what holds this bag together. All right, so I think, and then of course I don't know, did I do the triangles? I can't remember. I'll do them again. So there we go. So now we have our bag scored, and we just need to do one more little punch. We're going to bring it again all the way to where we have our marker indicator right here on that score line. If you can't really see whether or not you're straight, all you have to do is look at the printing here, and you can line your paper up with the printing and know that you're pretty straight. So we're going to do a little punch there, and we are ready to start folding. Now you'll notice there's kind of something goofy here, and we want to go ahead and trim that off at an angle. But before we do that, I am going to get my score tool. This is my Simply Scored scoring tool. I'm just going to set it right here so you can see what's going on. And I can just flush it up so that this left side is even over here. Nice and even. And then we can just go ahead and we can find, and we might have to move it just a hair if we need to make some adjustments. But what we can do is find those score lines and just continue them down. So I just found the side of our gusset here. And here is another line. Now I'm not going to continue the gusset line, I'm just doing the side lines. Remember that little side line? So we're just going to score that all the way down, and then we can do the same thing on this side. I just turned it around because it seemed like it would be easier for me to see if I have it towards me. So now I'm scoring that bottom one. There we go. So there is another side score line, and I think we've got everything scored. And again, you don't need to do the gussets all the way up because the bag is so tall that kind of gets to be a moot point. So now we just have to do our folding. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold this side here. This is where we're going to be putting our adhesive. And as long as we have this folded back, it's a good time to take your scissors, and we're just going to trim up this edge like so, and then we're going to trim up this edge as well. That just gives it a nice professional look when we adhere it all together. Then we can go ahead and again, just following our score lines, we will just fold this bag right up. And the score lines, I can tell where they are mostly by feeling them. It's kind of hard to see them. I'm sure it's impossible for you, but you just have to trust me on this. And once you have your own envelope punch board, it will be easier for you to see how this all works. All right, so we are ready to put on some adhesive. We have our box ready to go, but you know what? I want to do a fold over at the top. I want about a 2-inch fold over. I think that looks so stunning. So we are going to do that. So again, I've got my Simply Scored scoring tool. Just going to put my paper so that I have the flap ends up here, and I have the flush end, the top of the bag over here. Then I'm just going to score at the 2-inch mark all the way down. And then we can go ahead and fold this. And now we have the top of our bag. Now there's another thing I want to do because I want to tie ribbon through this bag. Let me show you the original. Here's the original, and I don't know if you can really tell or not, but the ribbon goes through these holes on the bag. So I want to do that and show you how to do that. So what we have to do is bring our gift bag punch board back into the picture, and it's actually this back side that we need to do punching on to make the holes. There is an indicator here, and you see it has a little mark, and that is what you're going to line up with the score lines. So I'm going to put this up here so that I have a little room. And the first score line that we're going to do is this one right here on the end. And we're just going to punch through 2 layers of paper. It punches quite well. Don't worry about this little notch out here because that's not going to be seen. That's where our tape goes. Then we're going to go right to the next score line and make another punch. Now this is where you would not want to put your indicator where the gusset line is, because you just want your bag score lines, the 4 folds of your bag. So we're going to do another punch and one more here for another one. Every time I punch, it's putting in 2 holes. And then finally, our last punch, we are going to line up the very edge of the paper with the very edge of the indicator, because we only want 1 punch out here. So just like that. Then we're going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to trim this off again. I kind of trimmed too soon on this side before. Just going to trim that down, and now it's all ready for us to adhere together. Okay, so we are ready to do some gluing, but you'll see how these punched out holes all line up. Well, I guess you'll see in a minute. So let me go ahead and get some fast fuse on here. And just because this little flap thing is sticking out, I want to get some adhesive on this flap so we can get that out of the way. We're just going to fold that down. And then I think I'm going to put a little bit of fast fuse over on this side as well, just to hold that flap down so it stays out of my way while I'm assembling. All right, so now we're going to put some fast fuse over here. And I may have mentioned to you before, but sometimes I have trouble with my fast fuse. It does not want to catch when I first start doing it. And it seems like if I put down my Stampin' Pierce mat, it catches super easy, and it's just easier for me to work with. So now I've added my fast fuse to this long edge here, and then we're just going to put this together. So I'm just going to set this together very carefully. I'm going to... What I'm trying to do is line up this top side first, and once I have that together, I can give it a little pinch. Then I can come down here and just make sure my bottom edge is nice and lined up. And once I feel like it's all lined up, then I can give it just a little bit more of a press. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to do the bottom portion of our bag, and that's these flaps here. So we're going to need glue on 3 of the flaps, and then the final flap we don't need glue. So I probably should have bent those down a little bit, got the score marks adjusted, but I didn't do it. So again, I'm going to bring my mat back in, and we're going to put a little glue here, and a little glue here, and a little glue here. And now we're going to fold in the side flaps first, then this top flap that has glue. We're going to make sure it's all nice and square, because this will not really budge once it's set, because we're using fast fuse. And one thing about fast fuse is it works well. Okay, so now we're just pressing, and we have the base of our box complete. And it stands real well. So now what we can do is just take our fingers, and we can just go in and kind of squeeze these gussets. You can see where we started a score line here. And again, you could go ahead and do this in advance if you wanted to, but I didn't really think it was necessary because I want my box to stay a little bit open towards the bottom. I don't want it all closed up. So now we have our bag all ready. You can see how perfectly these holes have lined up. We're all ready for ribbon. So let me grab some ribbon. I have some Blackberry Bliss stitch satin ribbon, and again, that could be sold out. I actually haven't checked the retired list here lately, but I'm just going to thread it through, all the way through the back, and I'm just doing all of these holes all at one time. And now we can just tie a nice little bow. So I will do that. I think you're going to have to look at it sideways because I can't do a bow sideways. I have to be straight on to do my bows. So we're going to go ahead and make that bow. Get it all pretty. Use a ribbon scissors to cut it. A ribbon scissors is just one of our Stampin' Up! Craft scissors that has never cut paper. We don't want it to cut paper or it's going to get dull on us and then it won't cut the ribbon very well. So here is our pretty bow, and now we're just ready for the tag. So I'm going to set this aside and bring in my tag piece. Now I use this stamp set called Amazing Birthday. It looks like this. It's been in the catalog for about a year already, but I've only really kind of just discovered it. You know, it's one of those things where Stampin' Up! Gave it to us at convention, and then I was so caught up in the holiday catalog once convention was over that I really didn't have a lot of time to play with this. But I've been playing with it, and I like it. And so this is the long banner. Now this would work great on our banner framelits. However, I want to show you a new toy that's coming out in the new catalog. It is a tag. It's a pennant maker for the bottom of your tags. Now you know how many times we take our scissors and we cut up the middle, and then we cut to the left, and we cut to the right, then we have to cut to the left, and then we have to cut to the right, and pretty soon we've trimmed our tag all up and there's nothing left and we have to start over. So this is going to be a really nice tool. Stampin' Up! Has it so that there is a 2-inch section, there is a 1.5-inch section, and a 1-inch section. So you can do 3 types of pennants sizes, all with the same punch. I love that. So I already have this cut to just a tiny bit under 2. That's kind of the thing with these scallop tag punches. You have to have it cut just a hair under 2. So I have done that already, and then I've made sure that I've cut it so that I have about a 3/4 inch white space at the top and about a 1-inch white space at the bottom. You need that for when you make your punch outs on this. So I am going to take this brand new item from Stampin' Up. You can see how easily it inserts right into this punch, and if you just are a little nervous, you can double check and make sure that it's flush to the bottom on the other side. Then you're going to do your punch, and ta-da, you have just created a little pennant at the bottom of your tag. Love that. The next thing is to take our handy dandy scallop punch for the top of our tag, and we've been using this for a while already, so we all know how that works. And here is our sweet tag all ready to go on our bag. So to put this on our bag, I'm just going to use a glue dot. So I have a glue dot right here on my scissors, and we are going to tuck that up right underneath the bow of our ribbon. So here it is, already complete, and I'm so glad that I was able to take this opportunity today to share with you how to create these taller bags with 12-inch paper so that you can have a lot more variety with your gift bag punch board. And here is the one I just made and the one that I made previously, and the gift bag punch board, which will retail for $20 from the new Stampin' Up! Catalog, which goes into effect on June 2nd of 2015. If you need a demonstrator, please feel free to check me out. I'm at www.stampingtoshare.com, and I have links there to my online store, and would love to add you to my mailing list and have a wonderful relationship with you, sending you cards and whatnot every time you place an order. Have a great day. I truly appreciate you. Bye-bye.